tonight. Huh? What the heck? I don't know who you are, but you just made a big mistake.
Who are you? Someone who does not need barbaric weapons to hunt.
What the hell you doing in my house? Eating a big-ass sandwich and shit. Nigga, I'm Santa Claus. What the fuck you looking good?
Life rich, wealthy, or poor with dislikes. We pray, asking for forgiveness for our sinful ways. With mind, body, spirit, and faith. We pray. Amen.
Yeah, amen. You like that, right?
Amen.
I wrote in my let's bow our heads, let us pray. Thanks to the day, bills paid, crib laid. Thanks to the yay, in that road.
Peter, you're struggling to have everything you want while the world tries to make you choose. This is a wonderful.
We back in the Low Key Cave, Keyshawn Niles YouTube page, aka Mr. Low Key, and we back with not just another movie review, but we back with the movie review, especially with this year, Spider-Man No Way Home movie review. This is probably the biggest movie to come out, of course, since probably Infinity War. I mean, you have these event movies. These are event movies, and Spider-Man No Way Home is 100% an event movie. I definitely wanted to watch this and get it. I wanted to watch this as soon as possible. Spoilers, man. You're talking about going on YouTube and videos popping up that you're not asking for. You hurrying up and pushing, not recommended. Like, what are these videos coming from? Spoilers, leaks. But I said, no. As soon as I get my chance, I'm watching this movie. And I got my chance and I watched it. Marvel. But, yes, man. First off, I'm going to say I enjoyed this movie a lot more than I thought I was going to enjoy it. Not saying I haven't enjoyed it, but I'm probably the person I'm not the biggest MCU Spider-Man fan. I'm not. I enjoy Spider-Man Homecoming. I enjoy Far From Home. But years from now, are you going to be saying, I can't wait to see Vulture, or I can't wait to see what was Far From Home villain, Mysterio? The same way we had that excitement is seeing Docock return or Green Goblin return. These are memorable villains. Not only the villains, but the characters playing them. William Dafoe. I'm sorry I can't think of the actor's name that's playing Docock, but they was so memorable in those roles. Not saying guys like Jamie Foxx playing Electro, or I forgot my man who played the Lizard, or Sandman didn't have that type of status, but man, William Dafoe's presence, and it shows in this movie. Doc Ock and Green Goblin, especially Green Goblin, William Dafoe, they both stand out in this movie. One thing I'm going to say, everybody to me got plenty of screen time, and it worked. And I definitely can't say I feel like it worked in a way where it did take you out the movie the same way it did for like a Spider-Man 3 with Venom, Sandman, and you know what I'm saying, trying to have all those villains in there, or what it did with the Amazing Spider-Man 2. Confession. I'm not no comic book person as far as getting my lore from understanding the comic books history, or the lore from Spider-Man, MCU, or whatever, Marvel. I pretty much got my lore from watching the animated series, the 90s animated series, Spider-Man animated series, X-Men animated series, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man. They had all a bunch of these animated series from Marvel. That's where I got my lore from. My favorite episodes probably was Spider-Man. You remember the episode where Peter Parker was getting mutated into a real spider? Then you had the Punisher, you had Blade, you had Kraven the Hunter, you had Morbius. It was so many people in this episode, and this movie kind of reminded me of that episode. That was my favorite episode, episodes, because it was a bunch of parts. It was part 1, 2, 3, 4, like to that particular episodes. But this movie really reminded me of the episode, not coming out, but it was kind of in the form of that Saturday morning cartoon, but it kind of gave me that feeling as far as watching it, especially with these villains and having so many villains, and you having Spider-Man facing off against so many villains. But it gave me the reminiscing and the nostalgia going back to watching that animated series as far as Spider-Man, especially them episodes where you had the Punisher, Kraven the Hunter, Blade, Morbius, all them on there at the same time in them certain scenes or whatnot. But let's go ahead and jump into the plot. we have Peter Parker returning as far as Tom Holland's Spider-Man. And this time, with Spider-Man's identity now revealed, our friendly neighborhood wrestling is unmasked and no longer able to separate his normal life as Peter Parker from the high stakes of being a superhero. When Peter asks for help from Doctor Strange, the stakes become even more dangerous, forcing him to discover what he truly means to be Spider-Man. So, you pretty much have Tom Holland dealing with a lot going into this movie, because we come straight off of Far From Home, where you got Mysterio on the video that shout out J.K. Simmons, J. Jonah Jameson is showing, as far as Mysterio revealing that Tom Holland's Peter Parker is Spider-Man. So we go into this movie straight off of that. By the way, I'm not going to spoil anything, no spoilers. If I do any spoilers or anything, I'll probably try to jump in somebody else's, because you know there's going to be a bunch of people on YouTube doing spoiler reviews or having discussions. So I kind of want to do like a discussion type of spoiler. But anyway, you're pretty much diving straight off of Far From Home going into this. So you got everybody. You're pretty much having everybody in the world paying attention to Peter Parker, and now they know who he is. So it's chaos. And I'm not going to go into details of everything that he has to deal with everybody finding out, but one thing I will say is just not him dealing with these things. His friends have to deal with it, because whoever knows him, in particular MJ, you're dealing with everybody asking them the questions and everybody coming at them as far as their status with Peter and Spider-Man or whatnot. So you get a complete understanding of why he goes to Strange, and this ain't spoilers, this in the trailer, but why he goes to Strange asking him for the spell or whatnot. And throughout the trailers, I think people had questions, is this the real Strange or is this not the real Strange? I'm not going to say that or not, but it's a lot of explanations, and the trailer didn't really dive into those explanations. But to me, I think people went into the trailer like, damn, why Doctor Strange so easily doing this spell for Peter? And to me, the movie kind of dives a little bit deeper and kind of gives more explanation into how they do, or how they go about doing the spell or whatnot. So I think that's why people were kind of thrown off of whether this was the real Doctor Strange or not. Not saying it is or ain't. I'm just saying, though, it kind of gives more explanation once you're in there watching a movie. So that's one of the things I enjoyed, as far as the relationship between and the chemistry between Tom Holland and Doctor Strange. I love their chemistry on screen. The things that they was talking about, the things that they was going through, and as far as just Peter explaining to him to the things, and every time, once he started to spell, and like I said, this is in the trailer, you know, once Doctor Strange starts going into the process of doing the spell, you have Peter basically ask him like, yo, can you wait? I don't want everybody to forget. I don't want everybody to forget. I don't want MJ to forget. I don't want Aunt May to forget. So you start seeing the complications or whatnot. That's pretty much what you're getting with this movie, as far as the villains and everybody who's coming back onto the scene or whatnot. The thing about it is the way they show up. I really enjoyed that. I absolutely enjoyed the way they show up. And the thing I went into this movie I was going to be a little confused on was, you see the reasoning behind Doctor Strange and Peter, as far as they show the reasoning why, not the, my bad y'all, why Doctor Strange and Peter start going at it. Because in the trailer you see that basically Peter's trying to explain to Doctor Strange like, I don't want to send the villains back because, you know, they explain this in the trailer, this not spoilers, but they all end up dying. And I was already looking at the trailer like, okay, I understand. Yeah, you need to send them back. So when I was watching these trailers, I didn't understand why Peter was trying so hard to keep these villains, and key word, they are villains. And even when you watch these movies, you don't see the previous movies, like, no, but anyway, once again, like I said, you get more explanation watching a movie. And damn, I was like, oh shit, I'm kind of having some feel like I'm telling you, I'm not giving nothing away or not, but you kind of start getting feelings and trying to understand it, why, like, okay, maybe we ain't gotta, you know what I'm saying, send them back, you know what I'm saying, maybe we ain't got to. And they did that really, really good, man. Once again, I want to put emphasis on this, the villains. Everybody got screen time, and I was honestly surprised at the amount of screen time everybody was getting, because it's like, okay, like people are on here, like they on the screen and you seeing them for a good amount of time, and everybody is playing their role and everybody is doing what they're doing, and it was just surprising how everything was going together. One thing I will say, the beginning of the movie, to me, it has a lot of silly moments. Not silly, but just silliness to it. It just wasn't too serious, but I get it. It's MCU. You know they got to come in with the shenanigans, as far as they got to come in with the jokes. They got to lay the jokes down and whatnot. They got to let you come in feeling comfortable and whatnot. But I'm just saying, it felt a little extra silly, being that this was like this big phenomenal movie or whatnot. Because you remember how Infinity War started out, like niggas was getting knocked off, killed. Thanos was out there whooping the Hulk's ass. So going into this, you know, all the hype and whatnot, it just felt a little lighthearted at the beginning. But I will say, once it started going, I'm telling you, man, and it still had some really good moments in there. And even when they had certain silly moments after when stuff started going on, they fit with the movie. I'm going to say this, man. Overall, man, I'm telling you, I really enjoyed this movie, but action scenes are phenomenal. One thing I will say is I love the way, because you know we have villains from Sam Raimi movies and villains from the Amazing Spider-Man movies. Confession, I didn't really watch those Amazing Spider-Man movies. I caught glimpses of them. I kind of watched the one with Jamie Foxx in it, but I'm just telling you honestly, I did not really watch those Amazing Spider-Man movies, but I pretty much got to understand what's going on. What I'm trying to say is, action scenes, they are similar to action scenes from other Spider-Man movies. For example, Sam Raimi shots. You remember those Sam Raimi shots with Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, as far as of him against battling and those fighting scenes with him and Green Goblin? You had some of those shots in here. Some of the scenes and the close-ups that you have with Amazing Spider-Man, where you know he's doing the web swinging or whatnot, is some of those good scenes in here. What I'm saying is, you have a lot of those different formulas mixed in together from different scenes from previous Spider-Man movies, and they worked in this. They really worked, and I enjoyed them so much, and it didn't throw me out the movie. I was enjoying those scenes every time I seen them, and I even catch them and say, oh, especially saying Raimi, because confession, the first Spider-Man, William Dafoe, Tobey Maguire, that's my favorite Spider-Man movie. But yeah, I remember those shots coming from Sam Raimi, and I was just waiting. I wanted to hear that little Sam Raimi music somewhere. I'm just saying, like I said, no spoilers, anything. But I did want to hear a little bit of that Sam Raimi music from the first Spider-Man. You know, I'm just, you know what I'm talking about. But as far as Tom Holland, Spider-Man, as far as Peter Parker's friends, they very much play pivotal roles in this movie. Ned and MJ are very much in the movie throughout. Man, they, once again, everybody, there's so many people in this movie, and everybody gets enough screen time. And not only do they get enough screen time, but everything works together. It's not too much. You don't forget about characters. You don't forget somebody was here, somebody was there, and whatnot. You are following along with everybody, and I was following along with everybody. I did not have no issues with understanding what was going on here and there. And MJ and Ned, they made me enjoy them more in this movie. I'm not saying I enjoyed them in Homecoming or Far From Home, but like I said, I'm just not the biggest MCU Spider-Man fan. What I will say is, I really enjoyed them as side characters as far as Peter's friends. They really made me enjoy them a lot more in this movie, particularly probably Ned. But yeah, I really enjoyed them in overall in this movie. Happy Hogan, man. He had some good moments in here, man. He had some really good moments in here. He's not in this movie as much as I thought he maybe was going to be, because, you know, as far as Far From Home, maybe that's why I thought got the essence that he was going to be in here a lot more. Like I said, though, he had some really good moments on here. Besides William Dafoe, as far as Norman Osborn, Green Goblin, and Doc Ock, Jamie Foxx has some good moments in here, and I'm not going to give nothing away. It is a spoiler if I give the scene away, but what I will say is, it's a part in here where he says a line, and I'm telling you, man, I was laughing. It's shout out to Marvel, shout out to Kevin Feige, man. It's a good line. I hope y'all know what I'm talking about when you hear it, but I love the line when he says it, man. I wish I could say it, but I'll probably say it in spoilers, and I want to talk about it. But it's a really good line, and I enjoyed it, man. Aunt May. This is probably my favorite movie with as far as Peter Parker's Aunt May. Not saying that I didn't enjoy Tobey Maguire's Aunt May. like I said, once again, I didn't really watch the Amazing Spider-Mans and know the Aunt Mays or whatnot, but she, oh my gosh, I apologize as far as the actress name, but the Aunt May, Tom Holland's Peter Parker's MCU, the MCU's Aunt May, I enjoy it. I really enjoy Aunt May. She is a standout in this movie. I really feel like she's a standout as far as, besides Ned and MJ, she really is the force as far as the voice, the person, the push behind, to me, Peter, as far as Tom Holland's Peter Parker, MCU or whatnot. I really enjoy her in this movie, man. She has some great scenes in this movie, man. She really does. And not only that, her and Tom Holland has some really great scenes in this movie, man. Be on the lookout for those scenes, man. I really enjoyed the scenes that they had together. And one thing I'm going to say, I feel like a lot of people be saying, as far as Tom Holland Spider-Man, of course, like I'm going to say it to this day, Tobey Maguire, that's still my favorite Spider-Man to this day. But as far as, it's certain points, you remember those Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans when he would cry sometimes, as far as Tobey Maguire, it would be like, I'm emotional with you, but it's like, I'm just saying, shout out to Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, man. But as far as this, Tom Holland's emotional moments, you remember, as far as Infinity War, him talking to Robert Downey Jr., Tony Stark, you know what I'm saying? I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark, you know what I'm saying? That moment, he has some great emotional moments in this movie, man, and it really made me enjoy and root for his Spider-Man even more throughout. I feel like he even has great leader moments in this movie. You're going to know what I'm talking about. Tom Holland's Spider-Man has some really great leadership moments in this movie, and when he takes that lead, I'm all in it, man. But those emotional scenes, I'm telling you, all with it. I was sitting there, because I'm going to be honest, man, it's comic book movies. Like, I ain't saying I don't get emotional with comic book movies, but like I said, I'm not just deep into the lore as far as every lot of people, or I'm not, it took me a minute to just get really engaged, more engaged with the MCU as far as the route they was going, you know, from Edward Norton being the Incredible Hulk to them throwing in Mark Ruffalo in the Avengers or whatnot. I'm just saying, as far as the conglomerate and seeing Robert Downey Jr. show up at the end of the Incredible Hulk, and then them doing this whole connection or whatnot, it took me a moment just to start to get into the wave of the MCU. But with everything they've done as far as Kevin Feige and the way he's made these moves, I ain't got no choice. It don't make me want to keep up with certain things. So what I'm saying is, watching this and the way he goes about as far as throwing these current characters in, and the way he does Tom Holland, because I feel like a lot of people I don't feel like a lot of people, as far as being fans of the MCU, the way I be hearing reviews sometimes be like Tom Holland is their favorite Spider-Man. I feel like it's their least favorite Spider-Man. Honestly, I just like certain moments, and I feel like he has the best. Tom Holland Spider-Man, I feel like, has the best emotional moments for me as Spider-Man. I feel like he does. And particularly in this movie, he has some outstanding emotional moments that I really enjoyed. William Dafoe's Green Goblin. Just hearing him laugh, like I said, the entrance of the villains in this movie. When you hear that laugh, I'm telling you, I'm sitting there, the excited. You talking about the chills, man. Hands getting sweaty. Like, I'm just saying, hearing him pop up, man, because once again, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2002, that's my favorite Spider-Man. Phenomenal, man. William Dafoe almost steals the show in this movie, I'm telling you. But it's so many good moments in this movie. He don't steal a moment, but he almost does. Phenomenal, man. The way he talks, even the fighting scene. Oh, I'm telling you, William Dafoe movement and whatnot. Telling you, man. It was a reason why I loved him in John Wick, the first John Wick or whatnot. But it's another reason why he is that guy in this movie. I'm telling you, you're gonna know what I'm talking about once you watch it. But with him, he is definitely, to me, a standout overall as far as the villains in Spider-Man No Way Home. Docock has some really great moments. Like I said, him and Green Goblin are the standouts. I love Jamie Foxx too. I think he has an incredible line. But as far as villains overall, Docock and Green Goblin are the standouts. But William Dafoe, his mannerisms, man, and that voice, just him talking, I'm good. I'm telling you, man, it's some really good scenes in this movie. And with all the action going on, all the action sequences, the comic book action, we know we're gonna get that good action scenes. For me, in my opinion, it somewhat took secondary. I'm telling you, it's some good action scenes in this movie, phenomenal. But it took secondary to me for the story. The story for me in this movie took first place to me, and this action took second, because I was so engaged with what was going on. You're gonna understand once you watch it. For me, even when everybody wasn't fighting or whatnot, and you just had moments where they was talking, and there's a scene in here, and you gonna know what I'm talking about, where they just talking, and I was just sitting there like, yo. I'm good. I like this. I'm good. We ain't gotta do no fighting right now. Y'all just talk. I'm telling you, man, I was really enjoying those moments. I feel like those was definitely standout moments, man. But overall, man, Tom Holland's, like I said, Spider-Man, I feel like he wasn't pushed to the side. He wasn't outshined by William Dafoe, you know what I'm saying, as far as the villains or whatnot. He wasn't outshined, and throughout the movie, he didn't feel like he was outshined, because with all the rumors you was hearing, with everything you heard that was going on, I thought people probably was going to feel like Tom Holland was definitely going to be put on the back burner, with everybody that you was hearing was going to be in the movie, and then every body that you seen that was actually in the movie, you know what I'm saying, with docock, Green Goblin, Electro, and all these other villains. But he did not get outshined. Me, in my opinion, I didn't feel like Tom Holland was outshined in this movie. Overall, though, it's a phenomenal movie. It's definitely one of the best MCU movies. Is this the best MCU movie? With everything in this, I can't say that. I can't. If you want my opinion, I'm still probably going to leave that to Captain America Civil War. That's probably still my best MCU movie, Captain America Civil War. I feel like Black Panther would have been there, but I don't like some of the CGI in Black Panther. That's the only thing with I feel like Black Panther is up there, and if not the best MCU movie. But right now, for me, Captain America Civil War is the best MCU movie in my opinion, as far as MCU movies though. But I'm telling you, this rewatchable value off the charts. You're gonna watch this over and over and over. Like I said, the only real issues I had with this is it was really silly at the beginning, and for a while, after certain action scenes, it would get kind of silly early on. But after the first half, which is still good, the second and third acts do not stop. They do not stop, man. Like I said, the villains are all good. It's really coming down to the possibilities of the MCU and the connections. Once again, you have William Dafoe's Green Goblin and Doc Ock coming in from Sam Raimi's Spider-Man for 2002 and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. You have Electro and Lizard coming in from the Amazing Spider-Man. That one, I can't remember. I'm sorry, I can't remember the actors' names, man. That's messing me up. But I guess because for a reason, like I said, I didn't watch the Amazing Spider-Man like that. The reason I bring these up, though, is the possibilities. Even with the ending of this, come on, man. Post-credit scenes, I'm not going to give them away, but come on. The possibilities. And what's really exciting is Spider-Man is so big as far as the world, the connection. Think about the way, to me, Spider-Man has those villains the way you think of with Batman villains. It's got those ones that you just enjoy. You got a lot of ones that you memorable villains, I feel like. And that's what they're doing a lot. I feel like they can try to do with Spider-Man. I'm trying to make sure I ain't forget to talk about anything, man. Like I said, I feel like I brought this up, though. This did, especially in the middle half somewhat. This felt like you was up watching a Saturday morning Spider-Man cartoon. And then it just started going there, but not in a bad way, man, in a good way. Like I said, it wasn't just nostalgia. It was just watching so much at one time, and it wasn't bad. It was good. Because you had so many people try these things. You had Batman v Superman. You had Spider-Man 3. It's a lot, man, when you try to cram so much into one movie. But with this is definitely the next thing to Infinity War as far as phenomenal, as far as phenom movies, as far as overall having so much going on. And I feel like Doctor Strange played a very, very, very good role in here too, as far as like I said, as far as I already said the chemistry between him and Peter, but I enjoyed moments he had with Peter's friends. I really enjoyed those. I really enjoyed those moments too. But not only that, I enjoyed the moments that he had with the villains too. Overall, man, like I said, Spider-Man No Way Home is going to be talked about all weekend, probably for the rest of the year. It's going to be talked about for the rest of the year, depending on what the Matrix do. But overall, J.K. Simmons, J. Jonah Jameson, man, I feel like he definitely was not that Sony Sam Raimi's J. Jonah Jameson. I did not get that from him in this movie. He was definitely doing what he do as far as J.K. Simmons, who brilliantly plays J. Jonah Jameson. My bad, y'all. And I feel like nobody else can play him the way he does, but this definitely, to me, was a MCU version of this character. To me, he just did not have that same aroused the way he was in the Sam Raimi's versions of him. He definitely has those moments, but he does not come off the same way he did in the Sam Raimi version, like I said. But you still will enjoy him overall. He ain't in here as much as, like, I wouldn't expect him to be in here super a lot, but he in here very much a lot. I mean, very much enough. I mean, he's even in a certain action scene where you like, okay, he's there. But overall, like I said, he was in. I wanted to make sure I didn't forget about him because, like I said, it's a lot going on in the movie. It's so much going on in the movie, but I couldn't forget about him because he definitely has moments in the movie. But overall, man, like I said, Civil War is still my favorite, but this is definitely probably my third. Black Panther is probably still my number 2 as far as MCU movies. This probably coming in on number 3. With everything went in this movie, I was still trying. I'm gonna watch it again. Of course, I'm gonna watch it. I'm definitely gonna watch it again. But overall, man, it's definitely one of the best MCU movies out there. It surprised me with everything they was able to do in this movie. It did not feel long. It did not feel long at all. 2 hours and whatever how long it was, it did not feel long at all. And like I said again, Kevin Feige, man, the anchor behind the MCU and everything he been able to do, the moves he done pulled, and what he did with this movie in particular is, man, I'm telling you, the possibilities and where they can go. And it don't make you afraid of what they're gonna try to do now. Whatever they try to do now is like, okay, I'm all with it. And then you hear everything that's going on with Hawkeye. It's like, come on, man. It definitely makes you excited for the MCU. And me being, I guess I would say I'm not more of a DC fan, but I got more connections with DC, especially with Batman. It just make you be like, damn, DC needs that connection, man. It's just because it makes you more excited for what's coming next. Because think, if this was just like a one and done, not a one and done, but a solo off film, like a run off film that ain't got no connections to anything, and it's still good, don't get it wrong, but it's like, damn, what about what's coming next? That's the thing with the MCU. You always are looking forward to what's coming next. Even with some of the bad movies, it's like, damn, but what's coming next? Because it's so many other good things that's out there. Stand out. No Way Home. But overall, man, I enjoyed this from top to bottom. Like I said, I feel like the beginning was a little silly, a little loose or whatnot, as far as just being, I ain't gonna say all over the place, but it just felt like they was kind of just being extra silly. Like that MCU silliness was just put on extra heavy at the beginning. But like I said, once things started going, and overall, man, I overall enjoyed this, man. Once again, Tom Holland, I enjoy his version of Spider-Man as far as being in the MCU and whatnot. I can look forward to what he's going to do in future movies, because it's already been said that he's going to be in more MCU movies or whatnot. Not only that, but he's supposed to be doing other movies with Sony or whatnot. So it does make me look forward to see him and doing other things. But it also makes me look forward to seeing the possibilities of what they're doing as far as Sony and Marvel's connection, as far as studios or whatnot, because this is it right here. And this movie really does give you the input to say, okay, we're about to get some things. There's a lot of things going to be going on, but overall, I really enjoyed this movie. I'm telling you, it's not no weak moments on here, man. You are going to enjoy this. This is going to be talked about. As far as spoiler if I can get on somebody, if like I said, I know a lot of people I be talking to other ones that be doing other things as far as their YouTube platforms, and maybe if I could jump on there with them and have some kind of spoiler discussion, that's probably what I do. But I'm already thinking about doing something myself as far as spoiler discussion, so I'm definitely gonna let you know when I plan on doing that. Overall though, I enjoyed this movie. Let me know in the comment section, have you seen Spider-Man No Way Home? If you have, how did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy all the surprises? Did the surprises like take you out of here? How did you feel about when the villain showed up? How did you feel overall about this phenomenal movie, this phenom movie, this big overall movie that's coming out this Friday? How did you feel about it? If you have not seen Spider-Man No Way Home yet, when do you plan on going to see it? You better hurry up and go see it. I'm telling you, because it's going to be spoiled. It's spoilers, leaks everywhere. You need to go ahead and go see it. But if you haven't seen it, let me know. Do you plan on going to see it? Are you looking forward to it? Let me know in the comment section, man. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. This is the road to 400 subs. Shout out to all my subscribers. Shout out to everybody that's watching my videos and taking the time to watch me do what I do. I appreciate it. Yeah.
You're flying out into the darkness to fight ghosts.
What do you mean?
They all die fighting Spider-Man. It's their fate.
See me smile at the actual situation. And because they can sense that I'm not afraid of it, yeah, it's only because of my experience prior to.